It is now rebuttal time. And similar to a court procedure where the prosecution speaks first but has closing arguments last, those are the rules on debates as well. Therefore, the negative is the first to rebut. Have you decided which of you wishes to speak first? You tell me. Fine, Joe will speak first. Please help me welcome Joe Kenyatta. Madam Timer, 3 to 5 minutes.
Mr. Chair, fellow judges, fellow Toastmasters, and welcome guests. Our opposition has stated that cakes are better than pies. I submit to you that the word pie is ingrained in the English vocabulary. The opposition has used it a number of times. For example, a pie hole. A pie hole to me means a hole for stuffing a pie into. Feeding yourself, an endearing form of describing how to eat a pie and what to do with it. I can't exactly say that for a cake. Cakes are complicated. Hence, you have TV shows on how to make cakes. Pies are simple, they're everyday food, meant for everyday people. Just a simple shell, flour, water, some fat. You have the pastry, you can put anything inside, eggs, you name it. If it's edible, it can be put inside, it can be sealed, it can be baked. And then you can take it with you on your journey, hiking up mountains, doing whatever you want, and eat it a day or two later, and still have fresh food. Try stuffing a cake in your pocket and see what happens. Historically, pies were created for travelers. From the ancient mariners to, what's the word for the French voyageurs?
Les voyageurs.
Les voyageurs, traveling across Canada, exploring a mobile form of food. Basically, oh, another one for you. Why are pies so versatile? If cakes were versatile, wouldn't McDonald's be selling them? Pies are healthy. Why are pies healthy? There's no starch like there is in cakes. They are waistline friendly, so you just have fruit and simple pie shell. You can have simple meat, no fattening stuff, and you don't OD on sugar. Show me somebody who's addicted to cakes, I'll show you somebody who is a diabetes candidate. Pies are older, pies are versatile, pies can do anything, literally to anybody. As far as birthday cakes go, where did birthday cakes originate from? The original flans, which were pies, which were open pies with fruit. The sweetness, eventually the way cakes were derived is fruit was boiled down, sugar was extracted, and then to create cake layers, the bakers literally had to put starch into the flour to make big, light layers, and then encased in sugar. That's a cake. I submit to you, pies are much better. They're versatile. They're every man's food. Anybody can deal with it.
Thank you. Negative. Affirmative. Who speaks first? Bob, you'll speak first. Please help me welcome Bob Garnett.
Mr. Chairman, fellow Toastmasters, and welcome guests. I'm going to rebut the simple pie, so let me talk slow so you pro-pie people will understand. My opposition, Joe, talked all about pies. The magpie, that super long explanation about pie, that pie Indian coin, filled pies, top crust, two crust, that's exactly my point. You don't even know what you are. You could put like anything together and you'd probably call it pie. He brought up the point that pies were popularized by the English colonists. And we all remember what saints those people were, don't we? Maybe they offered the pies to the native Indians in Western Canada as they stole their land and pushed them aside and brought them pies in return. I'm sure it was well appreciated. There was more pies, savory pies, meat pies, quiches. I am surprised the pie people brought up quiches. I wouldn't have brought that one up. And that Scotch pie, really? That would be a whole lot better with just Scotch in it. Not that other stuff. To counteract the point that pies are more nutritious, I don't buy it for a minute. That stargazy pie, how many kinds of fish were in there? Like 20? What was the whole purpose? You stick them all in, and they all look up at the sun, and then the sun like melts them all, so all the fat runs out and seals up the pie. That sounds good for my heart. And the travelers with their pies. This is one reason why I just can't bring myself to willfully eat cottage cheese. I can't imagine walking across the countryside for weeks on end with a nice meat pie tailing behind me. Sure, it's fine day 1 and 2, 3 and 4 if you get really stuck. But come day 12 and 13, the other people in my party are looking more scrumptious than they were that day. You mentioned people addicted to cakes and what they must be like. Recipe for diabetes. I have to tell you, my aunt is addicted to beef cakes, and she weighs a lean 105 pounds. In the same hand as mentioning the quiche, you mentioned our ally on your side, the Boston cream pie. You even mentioned that, oh, it's not a pie, it's actually a cake. That's true. That Boston cream pie has been infiltrating the pie side of the world for many, many years. And it will continue for decades, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Affirmative. Since both sides have given one rebuttal, I will remind the judges they are not to provide new evidence. They are simply to rebut what they have. If they provided new evidence, that is a negative point. Our second speaker for the rebuttal of the negative is Dennis McClure. Please help me welcome Dennis.
Chairman, fellow Toastmasters, esteemed judges, this is from the bottom of my heart. I'm actually quite concerned here tonight. When a party has to keep repeating a line, cakes are better than pies, 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 over and over and over, it sounds like a mantra. It's the kind of thing that cults use in order to infiltrate an idea into their minds so that they do not question anymore the Lord High who has made this proposition, cakes are better than pies, cakes are better than pies. You see, unfortunately, when you have to resort to these sorts of vehicles to make your point, you've already lost. Eh? You know, Malcolm X said, you can put a shoe in an oven, but that don't make it a biscuit. What? Have you ever tried it? Put a shoe in an oven, that doesn't make it a biscuit. The fact of the matter is, the proof is in the pudding. Now, pudding doesn't enter into this at all, but here it is. Basically that Joe had provided a mountain of evidence tonight supporting the practical side of pies, the practical uses of pies. Unfortunately, the opposition tried valiantly but failed to show us the substantial practical side of cakes. Cakes will always be the periphery. They will always be the stuff of trifle. And while Joe provided solid data showing why pies were the substance food of people of all the generations, and by the way, if pies failed, pemmican was the thing you ate. Try eating pemmican over a pie. Reference to the TV media. We're talking now about the same TV media, the cake programs and that sort of thing. This is the same media that provides quality entertainment like the Ozzy Osbourne reality show and Barney. And you just name it, some of these programs are on there. These people, what they do is they sit around in a room and they go, well, what can we offer the public to divert them, to show them something different? We can either show somebody, some 75-year-old celebrity dancing, doing ballroom dancing with some young hottie, 1/4 their age, or we can have a program about blowing stuff up. Oh, you know what, we'll have a cake program. That's the same kind of mentality we're talking about here. Mother Goose was quoted a lot by our opposition. Remember that history shows that Mother Goose provided a lot of euphemisms. It was code for subversive activities. Yes? There was reference to the Black Death, the Great Plague, the bubonic plague of Europe that wiped out 3/4 of the population. This is the same Mother Goose. Roll it, pat it, stick it. Bring out your dead. What I would like to say just in passing here is that when a noble defense is made, when a proposition is made, and our men like our opposition come out and launch and do their valiant best to provide it as a credible argument, that in itself requires an applause. That in itself requires some note. But remember what happened at the Alamo. It was a noble cause. Remember that these interlopers came into someone else's territory, were wiped out by the people who owned that territory, but in history, they ended up being martyrs. Show me the justice, Mr. Chair.